How many times you got to a client location and they're not home? Or people really wants to pay you, but they tend to forget.
Yeah.
And I hate to call over and over again, where's my money? Where's my money? You should not do that. Well, a system can do that better than you. And guess what? Our collection rate is much higher than a person. Why does it happen? Because you cannot argue with a machine that keeps on bugging you, where's my money?
Hey, welcome to What the Franchise, the podcast where we talk about franchise development, growth strategies for growing your franchise system, and generally how to become a better franchisor. And I have a guest with me today, Adi Azaria, who's the CEO and founder of Workiz, which is the CRM platform we use at Home Run Franchises for all four of our brands. It was a long journey to find the right tech stack. But Adi, thanks for joining me today.
Hi there. How are you?
Doing good. I asked Adi to join. I think as a franchisor, and if you begin to look at service businesses, there's been a big evolution in how small companies, even small startup franchise systems, emerging systems, use CRM and technology software. And they've leveraged it to great extent to do things that were, 20 years ago, I built my own custom CRM for a company called Show Homes Franchises. We spent $2 million over like 3 or 4 years. I mean, it was just, we had a full-time tech guy on staff. It was ungodly expensive to build your own platform. And there's still people trying to do that today. I don't know why in the world you would do that today, but like, what's the nature? Why is a tech stack, which is the word people use, so important for a service business today, Didi? Like, why has that become such a critical thing for business?
So first, thank you for having me today. That's a great honor. And after all the great guys who've been with in your podcast, but getting to your question, I mean, you always talk about the deficit, the amount of technicians you need, and how many of them are really available out there.
Yeah.
And in order to optimize your technicians everywhere, whether it's a business, any business or a franchise business, you need to make them super efficient. Basically, very basic equation. Allow them to make more jobs every day, right? A software stack helps you do that. Software stack helps you optimize and automate many of the tedious work the technicians or the dispatcher would do at the office.
Yeah, I know, like take the lighting squad, the shirt I have on today. I wear a different polo every day. It's a switch brand. But they're, my lighting squad guys, like the business, our franchisees like Workiz because the training and support is really extraordinarily good. And after working through several other competing platform brands, trying different platforms, we like it better. It's very intuitive and easy for people to use, but they like it because they can run the whole business off their phone. They don't even have to have a tablet. They don't have laptops. Like they do the whole business off of their phone. It's really extraordinary. And it's ease of use. So that's some of the things that are important for them, or they like to text clients. We have a bunch of sales automation, which is something I'd like to talk about. We have custom sales proposals. We have scheduling and tracking and all types of invoicing. We use card readers. And so they have tip screens. Tip screens, my two lighting squad guys here in Franklin, Tennessee on the trucks here make between $500 and $1,000 in tips a month each on top of like a $25 an hour rate. I mean, it adds like, what is that, $5, $6, $8 an hour? Like they can make $12,000 a year in just tips. And only because the software that we have, intersects the customer in a positive way. It isn't really overbearing. It's crazy how effective that is.
But there is a byproduct to that. And many people don't understand that when you hire technicians, you can hire better technicians at a higher rate. Now, the higher rate obviously comes from the tips, and when you share it with them, they say, okay, if this is an option, I want to work with you. It always gives you better quality of technicians.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's an employee retention. We always hear people like, it's so hard to hire staff, so hard to hire technicians, electricians in this case, in this business are in short supply and there's a shortage, but I've not really had trouble with that. And I think it's because I pay a really good rate to start with and we just adjust our customer pricing to be fair. But the tip screen, which is a technology issue, like that just happens. Like they don't know how it happens. All they do is do a good job. And it really makes them think twice about how they communicate with people, how they handle themselves, the show they put on when they go in a house. But that's just one function of a CRM. I think for me, one of the things that I liked about your software solution for service brands, and it's one that I recommend is that you've thought through the sales automation probably better than most people, most options. Like, I know that's like a big thing. Like, talk to us about sales. Why is sales automation something that every small service brand should really be paying a lot of attention to?
That's a good question. So I'm coming from a sales background. So I had previous very successful company. And nowadays I see the same similarities. You talk about it also in your LinkedIn videos.
Yeah.
Like speed to lead. You need to pick up the phone. You need to be nice. You need to have a good customer service, and all this in one person. Now, well, a one person can do that, but it's super challenging to do everything all the time. I mean, where you're in the trench or whatever, up in the ceiling, it's hard to give a good customer service. This is why we created the sales automation or the Workiz automation to start with. We understand that many items, many triggers in the CRM or in our day-to-day should trigger a text message or just a phone call or whatever. So a sales automation system allows you to take those tedious processes that everybody forgets to do, and creates basically an automatic system that does that for you. Whether it's I'm coming your way, please be home. How many times you got to a client location and they're not home? Or people really wants to pay you, but they tend to forget.
Yeah.
And I hate to call over and over again, where's my money? Where's my money? You should not do that. Well, a system can do that better than you. And guess what? Our collection rate is much higher than a person. Why does it happen? Because you cannot argue with a machine that keeps on bugging you, where's my money? Right?
Yeah. I mean, it's simple. Like our Up Closets brand, our custom closet franchise, we create a work order and the install crew goes and installs a closet. And when they mark it done, it sets a whole series of automations that we set up that, like back in the day, you'd have to hire a software developer and go through all this really expensive, like if I was using Salesforce, I'd have to spend ridiculous amounts of money to set that stuff up. But it took us like all of 30 minutes to set, we had this big idea in our team that we would map the customer journey out, map out all the things that we thought like could be automated, like a Google review and the invoice reminder and a thank you note and a follow up in 24 hours for how's your closet and send us pictures and post on Facebook, all these little things that you never remember to do when you've been spending 8 hours installing a closet. It's the last thing that you want to do is think about all the little minutia that you have to do. And we thought it was going to be this long, like 2-month process. It was going to take a lot of wrangling with the development team at Workiz. It was like, no, like click here, do if then, and like I was literally 30 minutes. Like I have people who've never used a CRM in my company who are masterful at setting up automations, and everybody's a little different. It's really interesting to see the type of workflow that everybody has. It's slightly different, but I mean, I can't imagine running a service business without that tool today. Like you'd be foolish to do that. It leaves so much money on the table.
Absolutely. And if you own a franchise, you would want to require all your franchisees to do the same because it creates a level of experience that is similar. I love McDonald's, so I always say McDonald's is a great process company. They're processing everything, processing their food, and eventually it's a great experience, but only because they nailed the actual process, the 1, 2, 3. Now, this is how a franchise should act. If you want to be the biggest franchise in the US, it's easy. Just maintain a good customer service and make sure that these processes are big. It doesn't matter, use Workiz or not. But make sure that your franchisees are doing exactly as you did in your first location. If they do that, well, they're going to be successful because your idea is bloody amazing anyway.
Yeah, and it's, everybody uses the same CRM system, and we have some core automations that we set up. But I find that we allow franchisees to modify and add to them. And we've come up with some really great, and, they're out in the field every day, and just the ability that they can add additional things. Like if they're doing something they want to work a certain way, like for instance, in Up Closets, the closet brand, we used to, finish the job and then send a QuickBooks invoice so we could get paid. But we'd have to go back home, then we'd have to call the accountant, and the accountant would have to send the invoice, and then we'd have to, it was like, it was taking us an average of 4 or 5 days to collect on what would be a several $1,000 job. Now, they've often paid before we've left they've often paid before we've left the job site, and we're still packing up the tools and it's already in there. It's, I got your thing. Yeah, here, I just paid it. Here's a tip. Like it just automated our, it was super simple the way that works. It helps us get Google reviews. I think if you're a service business, I think for franchises in particular, because anybody could use a system like Workiz, but it's particularly good franchise software. I like that you have dashboarding and you can see everything across the system. But I think a service brand, I talk a lot in my videos about blue collar trades being the next white collar frontier. It's like what sophisticated, educated people are doing to run high dollar, high margin, low cost businesses. They're getting into trades and bringing a level of expertise to it. And when you leverage a technology like Workiz, you show up to a customer and you just overwhelm them with professional service. And you're just repeating the recipe. It's not like that's extraordinarily hard to teach somebody to use Workiz. Like, what do you see?
It's a template.
It's a template. Yeah, it's exactly what it is. But like, I can't imagine not having software like that today. It seems like it's it's like the price of running a good business. And we joke about, service brands. We call them the Chuck in the Trucks or the murder van guy that roll up with the free candy on the side. That's the joke we always make. But they're not using software like this. They have paper invoices and, maybe they follow up, maybe they don't. Like what does a properly organized CRM do for somebody? Like, what's the advantage of having a system like Workiz?
So we'll start from the service business and we'll go, higher into the franchise view. A CRM, basically customer relationship management, it keeps all your customer records in one place. So if a returning customer is calling back, you know what you've done before. That's so basic and so many businesses just forget to do that.
Yeah.
The best businesses in the States today have most of their leads are coming from returning clients or word to mouth. This is the holy grail of every service business. Without a customer relationship management or a CRM, forget about it. It will never happen because you just don't know. Now, once you start understanding that, you do less of an advertising. A CRM should also help you to maintain your invoicing and your balances and so on. If somebody is not paying you, you should know about it. You cannot write it on a paper or use an external system like your bank account. And I just heard from one of the businesses we spoke with today, like, okay, they see that somebody paid them because they look every day onto their bank account. It shouldn't work like this. This is not the 1980s or 70s anymore.
Yeah.
It's a whole new world where integration is helping you to flourish. If you don't integrate, you will not grow.
Hey, hold on just a second. I'm going to pause just for a second. I'll be right back. My wife has French bulldogs, and they get out of crazy. We'll edit that out. So
that's okay, no worries.
Repeat that. I want you to repeat that just in case the dogs were making noise. But I thought that was really good.
So absolutely. So a CRM, a customer relationship management, is basically a system to keep your records digitally instead of your black book.
Yeah.
Now, most all successful businesses in the U.S., service businesses particularly, are having their best years while they see more returning clients.
Right.
More word to mouth. How do you do that? Only by keeping those records and understanding that this client that just came by at your door or just calling you is a returning client and you treat them as such. Now, when you integrate a CRM into your service business, you immediately see better results. You know your clients, you know what you installed at their house. You say, hey, Miss Ruth, I know that I've been at your house last month. How does the closet feels like?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a whole different story from, hey, Miss, how can I help you? She would not like that because she expects you to know her. That's a whole new world.
Yeah, and something simple like, we pay referral fees for closets. So if you refer us somebody like a friend or brother or sister or neighbor, we'll pay 5 or 10% referral fee. It could be really big checks, $1,000 sometimes. And we send emails out just automatically, just, hey, like if you know anybody, let us know. We would love to pay you a referral fee. And people do. We get a lot of business that way. I think the automating the touching people, like in our lighting squad, we do nuisance electrical. So we're hanging ceiling fans and putting dimmer switches in and replacing light fixtures and cleaning light fixtures. There's a lot of basic handyman stuff that nobody really wants to mess with. But, you'll go do a half day's worth of work at a house, and 6 months later, just a simple text or an email that says, hey, if you got anything else you need, let us know. Like, we're going to be in the neighborhood next week. And you'd be surprised at how many people respond back. So I think today having a system like a Workiz that's fully featured, it's really become a mission critical piece of a service brand. And in franchising, you have to have it. I'm kind of astounded at the companies that cut corners on CRM systems or don't have like a well thought out approach. And I always tell people if they have a home built system, it's probably a red flag, be careful about that. Why would you tell somebody that you should worry about home built systems, like internally built and managed systems versus a cloud based app like yours?
So we always call it build versus buy. You don't build your own truck. Why would you build your own CRM? Maybe because you think that it's digital and it's easy. Well, you can do that in Google Calendar and Google Spreadsheet. Okay, that's a good start. It's better than pen and paper. But once it gets more complex, you start hiring developers. And those developers are great, but they're not really working for you. If they work for you, you started paying 6 figures and more every year.
Yeah.
But let's assume you have enough money and you hire them and they work for you. What happened with QA? What happened when the system is down? Who are you calling for support? Who are you calling? Okay, they call us. So what's going on? What the hell is going on? You cannot do that with your own employees. What if they take vacation? So again, very much like your tools. You don't build your own tools. You just go to Home Depot and buy them. Yeah. Do me a favor. Forget about Workiz. Doesn't matter. Just get a field service software to get your business to the next level.
Yeah, no, I think it's not if you're an emerging franchisor, it should just be part of your disclosure structure and how you do your franchise offering. We charge we call it a brand and technology fee. So it's a fee. It's $500. It covers the basic Workiz kind of subscription for the franchisee, and then a little bit of money for some basic marketing, mostly Google Business Directory and website stuff. But just that simple, affordable price point gives somebody, and I know franchisor can negotiate a better price than an individual service brand.
Absolutely.
You just have an amazing technology stack for a very reasonable amount of money that just really perpetuates your business. I would say our franchisees do better sales because of the technology. It's more efficient. They just, it allows you to grow much faster with less trouble. And it's so much easier to train and support people when you have a software system behind you like that. Having used a lot of other systems, which I won't name here, but
I can share numbers. We have many franchise businesses, but I can share numbers. Anybody that joined in 2021, from 2021 to 2022, or the median basically the middle item in the group, grew by 36%.
Wow.
This is not by increasing pricing. We deducted the price increase and we deducted the technician increase, which obviously will show much more revenue, and still is 36% revenue on median, meaning without doing anything whatsoever, the system allowed them to make more money. Now, this is why you need a CRM. Yeah. Again, we have the data so we can share it, but you need a CRM to help you grow, to help you do more with the same amount of people. You are professional. Let the digital system. I mean, you're not sending any snail mail anymore. You're sending an email.
It's almost like having an operations manager. We're able to do with less staff. So we have some automated marketing and automated technology going on behind our trucks, and the owners can get in and manage techs, and the techs can do their work. And they don't. It's not a cumbersome thing. Even the most tech disadvantaged person I have on staff can handle Workiz off their phone. Relatively easy. But what are the mistakes that service businesses make by not leveraging a CRM? What keeps people from growing like that? What behaviors do they have they need to change? If you had to give advice to somebody who is running a service business today, what would your advice be when it comes to technology?
Start small. I mean, you don't need to get the most expensive system. Make sure that you take the processes that you already have in your business that you feel that they work for you,
Yeah.
and try to find a system that can customize itself in order to fit you versus you fit the system. The biggest mistake is most people think that they know everything.
Yeah.
Just shut up and listen. Shut up and listen. Maybe you'll learn one thing, and we see it all the time. There's that's my process. I don't need to work with QuickBooks. I mean, I don't need to do that. I mean, man, just listen to me. I'm working with hundreds of thousands of technicians every day. I
Yeah.
probably know one thing, and being stubborn is never a good idea. And don't be afraid of technology. Many of them are actually afraid of technology. So we have a tool called the booking widget. It basically helps you to send a text message. The guys are going into a widget, like Calendly. You choose time, you choose the service, you can even pay advance, and then the business is booked, basically.
Right.
People that tend to use that see, just by putting it on their website, immediately about 30% increase in leads. Why does it happen? Gen Z, we don't love, not Gen Z, of course.
Yeah.
Gen Z don't like to use phones.
They want to talk on the phone. They don't want to talk. Yeah.
Yes, Discord or WhatsApp or iMessage.
Yeah.
So obviously they will want to book something over. First, it will show that you're more professional. Secondly, it will increase your leads amount, because when people go to your website and see a phone number, at least some of them will ditch it. I know that you guys are using the Messenger on Facebook, right?
We do. We do.
Why does people do that? Because they're more like Gen Z. They like to chat with something and they get a result, and well, it's a win-win situation for everybody. They can do it during work, I would say.
Yeah, it's very efficient. We say it removes all the friction. Like, it's for the very first thing the first problem we had to solve was we wanted itemized sales proposals, like in our window film business, lifestyle window films. We wanted to go to a client and give them a detailed proposal with line items with a logo and be able to text it to somebody right on the spot. We wanted to do an instant proposal, so there was no delay. And you do that really well, like that, solve that problem. Then we got into, after you texting, being able to collect money right on the spot, have them sign the proposal. And they do that. Like, the customer, if you do it, will just actually sometimes magically say, yeah, but great, here you go, here's my card. And they do the card reader. So we solved that problem. Then we got into the work order, the online sign up for booking, which you're talking about. We do it on all of our websites. You can get on any of our websites at the local site and sign up. And we use the booking link on Google Business Directory and on Facebook, and we use it everywhere I can put it. We try to put it in email signatures, the whole 9 yards, just to make it seamless. And it does make it much easier for people to book business. But sometimes it's that little tiny bit of friction is enough to keep somebody from, it's not that they don't want to use you. They just get distracted. And if you make it hard, nobody wants to call a service brand and get stuck in the phone directory anymore. Like, that's awful.
And you only need one extra client a month. That is going to be like 10 times worth of any CRM investment.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, we've probably gone 50 or 60% up in revenue from leveraging technology. We had a different system before we used to, so we had pioneered some of that out, but yours is so much cleaner to use. I mean, I really recommend it a lot. We really like the tip screens. We really like the GPS tracking of the trucks and the scheduling. Like, that's really nice just to know where people are. And then we got into sales automation. The sales automation is the holy grail. Just automating as a franchisor. If you can systemize the business so that the average person that buys the business can get average results or above average results, the technology in a service brand is like 50% of the business. It's like, that's like, otherwise you got to hire a ton of people and it's not profitable. I mean, the little bit of money that we spend for the retainer for the service software, you get a huge ROI on that. I'm not sure why anybody would use it today, and hopefully we'll see.
And we're taking it next level right now. We added into the system something that we call service agreements or memberships. I believe that almost any service business should look into this component to allow you to basically prepare future visits.
Yeah.
So it's like you go to an airplane website and you buy an airplane ticket and say, okay, do you want to add like $5 more for insurance for your luggage? Okay, It's only $5 more. Service agreement is basically that. Okay,
Yeah.
it allows you to prepare a visit, let's say for the closets, a year from now, just to hinge the, do some screws work.
Oh yeah, we'll
Now,
use that. We'll use that for sure. Our dryer vent business is an annual service. That would be an excellent thing to use for that. Get into recurring memberships or the lighting
now
squad.
again, the membership costs friction. It allows you to visit and obviously upsell. But more importantly, when this is combined with the sales automation, it reminds the customer that his visit is up and coming, maybe 4 times a year, and they can book through the booking widget, and the loop is closed. Usually, you will see a revenue that is much higher. The average ticket is going much higher just because of this simple upgrade.
So something like the lighting squad, we could have like a outdoor lighting cleaning and service appointment once or twice a year where we change all your light bulbs and clean your light fixtures and take all the bugs
Exactly.
out.
And it's only $50 a month or $5 a month. I mean, you can make it a SaaS software.
Yeah.
Once the customer realizes that this is, they come to my place and I have my credit card on file and I can see where they come to visit and I can change the visit digitally.
Yeah.
Well, win-win situation is just like Uber in many ways, so many ways. It's an app that allows me to have freedom.
Yeah, I would think like an auto detailing business or a pressure washing business, or that would be a killer figure for something like that. So
absolutely.
Didi, I really appreciate you joining. Where would somebody go to learn about Workiz or to get a demo? Just to, you're welcome to call me and ask my opinion of it. Where would you send somebody?
So you just go to workiz.com. This is workiz.com. And you can get all details from there. You can have a free trial or a demo if you don't like to play with it on your own. Super easy to use. And obviously we'll be happy to see everybody.
Yeah, and in my career, it's a shock how far that technology's come. Like, it's come a long way. And I don't know, are you guys doing any artificial intelligence kind of plugins? Or is that on the horizon? That's what everybody's talking about.
We already do. Yeah. So if you get a phone call or a voicemail, we transcribe it. We extract the entity. So, hey, this is Didi from 88 Pine Street. So Didi and 88 Pine Street will be extracted. You can create a CRM record just by hitting one button.
Wow.
This is like 95% precision. We see many of our clients stop answering some of their phone calls, mainly when they drive. And when they get to a stop, they just do, add job, and all details are already in the CRM. And the customer is just very satisfied because of it. You remember the times when you had the phone over here in the pen and paper?
Oh, yeah.
Those days are gone.
They're gone. Well, excellent. Well, definitely, like if you're not using a CRM platform like Workiz or something similar, it's a good time to take a look. You might be surprised at how far that technology has come and how much of a positive impact it can make on your franchise system and how helpful it is for your franchisees. But Didi, thanks so much.
Thank you very much. It's been a great pleasure.